Puts are getting smacked, and we see a massive upward move with that continuation taking place today. No breakdown through the low point to give us that pathway to the downside. We only see up and up and up. But remember what volatility was saying yesterday. It was saying today or the next day, we have an 85% chance of some kind of down day in the SPY. Now, you are taking that in consideration with the fact that we are squeezing. So that can just be sideways, that can be an upward move, a downward move that then we resolve to the upside later on. It does not have to mean some kind of massive reversal. But at this point, you are seeing that squeeze take place for the 30 minutes. So we will be watching this very cautiously as you're hitting critical levels where you can get like 2% drops. So I wanted to drop this zone for you to really take it into context of like, what's the next opportunity as we have risen that floor versus how would this break down for the 2 hour to pull back down, maybe to take care of a gap or come back down into these type of areas. For now, you would have to lean towards the most bullish thing possible, which is either we keep doing what we're going to do, keep squeezing, or we are going to see some kind of pullback to retest into something like 580 over the next trading session before we are able to see that continue further to the upside. This seems like, obviously, like the more probable thing not playing out. You're continuing that squeeze. So this is why the environment is not necessarily with you if you're trying to short. Now, I think there are plays that you can look at and say, okay, maybe without options, I can hold on to this for a couple of weeks and feel good about it and have a nice 10%, 5%, 10% trade. But as far as option goes, it is much more efficient in this type of area to just say, okay, I'm using the rips to take profit. I don't have to play back and forth every single day if we're going to go into that type of environment. If volatility ticks up, say tomorrow, because volatility is suggesting that. If we're not going to see that, well, I just know that the pullbacks could be limited in any way. We could just keep squeezing, right? So that means any time that I see something that even looks like a pullback and I see that thing cross back up, make a new high, I'm reaching up for the next area, which would be 591.79. This is the next stop for the bulls. And we just have to figure out, are we going to get that 30-minute continuation? Or is this going to end up being a 2-hour continuation in a zone a little bit lower? Now, the reason that I am leaning towards a pullback tomorrow as well is because of Nvidia actually showing me something absolutely crazy for this week, and you're only on Tuesday. So it is very, very likely that Nvidia will pull down to lower levels for some kind of retest. And I wanted to draw you a little box. You know, a lot of people talk about retests of these trend lines, right? They talk about retest of this. Well, you can look at the price action. You don't even have to look at the retest. The price action will tell you where the retest is coming. So if you're not going to continue to squeeze, maybe you need to dip down to lower levels, as this is a crazy 5% moment for Nvidia. Fantastic. But that means we can hold up in here, by the way. You can. You're in squeeze times, right? But the better thing for Nvidia to do would be to pull down into 121.50 if you're going to continue the 30-minute. If you're going to break down, you would see a new low created in here most likely, and you would use that as resistance to go down a little bit deeper to potentially retest all the way to 114.45. I think that's a little bit much for the week, but now that you have some more price action to work with, you're looking for how the 30-minute would continue the move. Why am I looking for how the 30-minute would continue the move? The positioning of the MACD suggests that we are going to see higher levels than this. If not the 30-minute, the 2-hour is suggesting we are going to see higher levels than this. So as long as we are not breaking through critical levels, we should see a second push to the upside. Whether that is going to give you the opportunity or not, right? It could just continue to squeeze. You're kind of hoping for the opportunity because bullish trades are going to be much easier to execute. Shorting a short squeeze, guys. I'm seeing some people say like, I really wanted it to go down. You're in a short squeeze. This is like, I shouldn't even put out videos talking about pullbacks because people try to play every single pullback, right? I was going to suggest to Richard, if Richard was coming in here today, I was going to be like, hey, Richard, I want to fun account some volatility over the next few days. I want to fun account some volatility over the next few days. Tesla, absolutely great move. Great move. The problem is you're creating this little divergence on the MACD. It's not even there on the RSI though. So it's very likely that the 30-minute could continue. When you start to see these things, you got to be open for the 2-hour to pull back. You don't see any risky things from the 2-hour. The 2-hour and the 30-minute still for Nvidia are suggesting higher prices. Congratulations to anyone who was paying attention down here when we were suggesting that that Tesla could hit 328. I think it was by the end of May, right? I think we said it here and then it failed and we go, watch, it'll just come down to here, boom, again. And we got there. So it's a great time for Tesla. Tesla, what happened? Okay, what happened when we reach these type of levels? When we get overbought, you go sideways, right? But sometimes when you get overbought, what do you see? You see a big pullback, right? Some kind of big retrace moment that can catch itself. So what we want to watch here is on the 30-minute scale, you're going to be watching this area. And then on the, maybe the 30 minutes pretty ballistic right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I would say 30-minute, you're watching here first. 30-minute, you're probably watching here as well. By that time, the 2-hour might be crossing, which means if you're going to go down into here, I think Tesla will take care of business. I have a hard time seeing that during this squeeze. We would have to like really see a shakeout. I think you're more likely to see like hiccups maybe to get down to here. Get the 2-hour nice and low for Friday, and then you see if that thing can ramp back up. But once again, when I draw lines down, that does not mean this is a good short opportunity. This is Tesla, man. This is, I want you to see something here. Let's see. This is Tesla, which rips, sees this retrace, rips, right? Then it just kind of, you know, does this for a second. Rip, right? This ABC move, though, it looks like it's about done, but am I going to just sit there and be like, oh yeah, this looks really bullish? I'm not going to take longs here. I don't think doing that with the information that we have with the weekly expected moves is a great decision, but also shorting something like this while it's squeezing can be difficult, right? And then the market's going to go down and you're going to say, I wish I would have shorted. This is about good decisions, bad decisions. Why have I been talking about how it's hard to short this market? Well, even when we were mentioning it here, we were still saying, I mean, yeah, you can. I mean, it looks okay. It's outside of the weekly. You just got to have some resolve with it or understand if it's going wrong. Guess what? It went wrong right away. Did you react? Because that's squeezing, right? You're shorting a short squeeze. Okay? This is why I did not take a short position here. Okay? This is not, no. Am I going to take a short position here? Only if Richard wants to buy volatility with me on the fun account. I'm not using my real account for like big positions right now for downside. I'm looking for some kind of downside move that curls back up so I can maybe catch this little move to 590, or I'm looking for the bigger drop next week or going into June. If we even get it, this is really shaping up to be fantastic. I'm being totally honest there. Bull in your pants as well. And VIX, Nicholas, and VIX. I think that's good. But yes, Nicholas, important to understand the environment. That's why I like that you keep saying fun money, right? Because this should not be a serious trade, right? This environment should just tell you right now, don't do it. And if this is the time where you're going to learn it, awesome. Appreciate that you see a squeeze right now. You messed up. That's okay. Understand that in this type of environment, it is not good to short. This is a bullish environment. Any pullbacks anytime soon? VIX is suggesting that tomorrow will be your pullback day because you didn't get it today. That is a 85% chance for some kind of pullback. We have no idea what kind of pullback that could be because we are squeezing. I think a retrace down to test 580 would be great. If it is going to get worse, then I assume that we break. There's your 2-hour pullback. So if you're going to get the 2-hour pullback, it looks like this. If you're just going to get your 30-minute, then right here, it's going to go rip. That is the opportunity that could form, right? That is the opportunity that could form. You are squeezing, so don't think it's going to just form perfectly to where it goes down 2%. even though with these type of readings on the MACD, you usually get 2% drops for the 30-minute. But I'm just saying, like, I'm trying to say things that don't encourage you, like, this is the easiest short in the world. Why didn't you do it? You know? I got puts on those two because they're above the monthly and the weekly and the looking week. Okay, maybe I'll do a fun one for Nvidia. Maybe I'll do a fun one for Nvidia. See if it goes down to like 122. I'll do that with you. I don't think so. I just think I'm gonna keep from doing my fun account things to show you guys, like, being patient is perfectly fine here. I'm not gonna do anything. Nope. Sorry, Richard. I wish you luck. I'll follow it with you. Stick around with me, okay, buddy? We'll get through it. Make sure we're looking at the critical levels. I think if you get like a move to 124, that's solid. Oh, not Nvidia, Amazon and Meta. Amazon is interesting. Or I'm sorry, that's Nvidia again. Amazon is interesting because you're actually seeing the flatness here. I think Amazon's super interesting. And the fact that we're continuing to squeeze while the 30-minute pulls back, it either means we're going to extend and see a 2-hour pullback soon, or we're just going to see that 2-hour pullback. That's what Amazon kind of suggests here, which is kind of crazy. But what are you paying attention to for Amazon? You're actually looking right in here. Low of that wick right there. I kind of want to include the wick this time. Let's take the low. And then you're looking in this type of area. Yeah, you're looking in this area. I'm looking for when that support comes in. I'm looking for the low of day. And then we're seeing, okay, this is where we'd have to react. And it's nice to have this little bit of confluence in here to give you some credibility. So the small pullback, geez, can I click, man? The small pullback would just be like, fill gap, go again. And that's very likely to happen, by the way. The way this breaks down is it's got to show you that low, then it'll react into here and then break down. So we'll see what shapes up. I heard Microsoft had some weird news. Did anyone see that? Okay, well, Microsoft more than the other ones looks like this is critical for Microsoft. Critical for Microsoft. The things you are seeing here for Microsoft like to start a downtrend here. Not a massive one. It's still looking kind of squeezy, but for the most part, you've really sectioned off here. If you start to lose this and see those, actually, and you lose all the way down here too, probably more critical is here. We see like boom, 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 boom. Get back to here. Dang, Microsoft looks risky. I would say out of all of them, Microsoft looks like the one where if I was holding calls, I would be like, I don't like this look. And it could just wipe that out tomorrow. It had some news, I think, today. Maybe someone knows what I'm talking about. It is good to see calls here. It encourages the rebalancing, right? It encourages the market makers to shoot things down for just a brief moment, and they're above the critical levels, so that's all good stuff. Yeah, we can look at Palantir. Microsoft firing 3% of the workforce. Yep. Okay, perfect. Thank you for double checking that. This is kind of those dark times, Paul. It's like, it's this guy. Who are you guys right now? Who are you supposed to be? You're supposed to be this guy right now, right? We were this guy here. We were going, we're not breaking the low, so we're skeptical. And then we start celebrating up in here, and we go, oh, awesome, that's our target. We know the environment, so we're not shorting. We're just skeptical of this. Then we see this, and we kind of blow this guy up a little bit, and we're like, you want me to buy that high? But I've got this purple line right here. You want me to buy that high? I've got this red line up here. And guess what? You go look at the Qs, and we'll look at Palantir. Don't you worry about it. You look at the Qs, you go, what do you think you should be over here? You should be, your whole screen should be this guy. Your whole freaking screen should be that guy at this point. Your whole screen. You know what you should be for Nvidia? Nvidia, once again, what should you be for Nvidia over here? Nvidia, do you think you should be this big? Nvidia, you should be you should be like this right now for Nvidia. That's what you should be right now. Doesn't mean, that you're just like, I'm not buying that. I don't buy it. I would rather buy it at 120, 122. Yeah. Let's go look at Palantir. Was Palantir able to make the new high? Perfect. Okay, good. So we were talking about Palantir, how funky this was. You lose all of the lows. The problem is the next day, you do something very crazy. You take back all of the lows. You literally see a move that goes back above all those lows. You dictate a higher low off of the 5-day moving average, and you head to the upside. You have no 30-minute divergence on your RSI, no 30-minute divergence for your MACD. And so that means to me, this is very likely to continue after doing what? Potentially retesting something, right? So where would I want Palantir to get to? Well, let's mark off some support or some resistance up here that's becoming support. And then we're going to mark the resistance down here or the support right here that can become resistance. And then we're just going to go, okay, awesome. Let's see, what would be a very good way for Palantir to head higher? Well, one, I have to understand, I don't have the volatility. So I shouldn't really expect this, but I know there's a juicy gap down there. And if Wall Street wants to be funky with it, market makers want to be funky with it, they would go, boom, convince you it's really bearish. And then if it just curls up, what is that? Higher low, right? If you delete this from your brain for a second, this is the price action you have in front of you. You have a high. You have a dictated low in positive territory. You have a new high from this one. So unless we are seeing this, we can't really break down here. Now, does that mean I want to be long here? Well, there's some reasons not to necessarily be long right now. It can continue, but it just says maybe a good decision would be look at my weekly expected moves and things like that. But you don't necessarily have the volatility to see this right now. So what you could do is you could see some volatility kick in for a bit. You could just do this and hold up at that one little block you have to turn to the upside. So what you're really looking for is a 30-minute to cross down, 30-minute to cross up. And notice we're only mentioning you're looking for the bullish trade. Now, this will end eventually because look at the 2-hour, right? This most likely will end. You're probably going to see a 30-minute divergence here, and then it'll start to get a little rough for Palantir. I think you're going into a top here for Palantir before it dumps to get a daily, an actual daily retest. Why would I say that? Because the daily scale has never come back to this level. So I think you're going to see a time where Palantir is worth $95 again. That's what I think. But it's showing you the pathway higher. So even if that happens, you would have to lose this low for that to be invalidated. So Palantir is in a great spot for continuation now, a big drop later, and continuation later on the daily scale. It means if you practice patience and you really wait and focus on your opportunity, Palantir could give you that opportunity. That'd be fantastic. I like it. You have a better chance on Thursday than you would Monday to get corrective move back into the zone. No, you actually have a better chance the more time you have. This is why this is so good, right? Because the more time I have, it means the more time I have to fail, right? If I'm look at this. You always want more time. Time. You always want more of it, okay? If I'm on, where the hell is Friday? Friday's right here, right? This is Friday, these two lines right here, all right? So this is Friday. If I'm on Friday and I see at the end, like let's say early in the morning, I see this. It kind of depends on what happened here first. Second, if I'm here, how much time do I have to get back in that zone? What, like 3 hours? I have 3 hours. So if I'm seeing consolidation and then I see this, and it's not overbought, it's not anything, it's just now crossing that center of the RSI, then I would say it's more likely to use the top side as support. even if it does curl down. Continuation. Now, we'll talk about this seriously if the market this week with OpEx ends up like this, right? That is going to be way different. Or, sorry, that's Monday. This would be much different than ending here. Okay, this says continue on Monday. This says possible trap on Monday morning. Right? It's too much. It's too much. That's why usually for a squeeze to start, you don't want to see it do this. A squeeze to start, you don't want to see this, right? You would rather see it kind of like see a good reaction, mellow out throughout the week, then get into Thursday and start seeing that upside, then break through, extend the move, retest, extend the move again. Right? So the more time to get back into the zone, the better. And if you see this and we just go boom, we go boom, we go boom, you know what you're doing by the end of the week? You're probably doing this. Bam. You're probably doing a bam move to the downside. All right? It depends on what you form before the last couple of days of the week. So you have a better chance today. So you have a better chance today because you have a lot of time. You can spend all that time up here though. You need to see what you're overall doing. What you're talking about more, Onda, is trying to short a short squeeze. What is a short squeeze? Who are they squeezing? Just very simply. Do longs get squeezed in a short squeeze? No, shorts do, and this market can do crazy shit. Right? The shorts get squeezed. So just delete the short button, delete the put button, right? The long puts, delete that from anything in this type of area until you see something critical at what? A monthly expected move, right? We are still going to look for that short for you. We're going to show you when it seems very probable. It does not seem probable to work out if you are buying shorts right now. For a position, right? For a position, it's a risky move, right? Until you see that environment of I have more data. I have this. And then you break the low and then you get confirmation. Yeah, it's just, a lot of people are asking about shorting because the market's up high. I get it, and it's probably going to end up being an okay decision in these type of areas. It probably will, but notice I'm not going to speak definitively on it. I'm not going to be like, yeah, I'm doing. If I thought it was a very, very, very good trade, I would put $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 behind it. I don't think it is. I think the bullish trades are much easier. So why don't I just do the bullish trades and let the market do whatever it wants to do when it's pulling back? Monthly, you're definitely more monthly. The key thing is, what do we teach in the course? Do we teach you, oh, if it goes to a monthly move, it's going to sell off? Right? Are we forgetting all of our reasons? Right? Because the monthly move is just one reason. The weekly move is just one reason. A big thing is, what am I seeing outside of the weekly expected move? What am I seeing outside of the monthly expected move? What kind of reasons do I find outside of the monthly expected move? Right? What reason right now, actually a negative reason to shorting? What am I seeing right now outside of a weekly expected move? I'm seeing a short squeeze. If I say, if you ever hear or you see, you can acknowledge and say, this is a short squeeze. The number one thing you should do is be like, man, I probably shouldn't take shorts. MSTR had a nice increase. Did it get the 2-hour extension? Let's see. Yeah, okay, awesome. Yeah, this is what we're kind of looking at, the 30-minute to extend to, but interesting. We came down into what? This is actually very cool. This is what I think the market needs to do. That's what the market needs to do, right? Isn't that what we're talking about with the market? That'd be great. MSTR is already doing it. MSTR is already doing it. Then utilizing Bitcoin, correct? Bitcoin trying to extend the 2-hour move. We were saying look out for the 4-hour to cross up, which meant what? If Bitcoin is going to continue, who else will continue? Right? You guys are older. You're not in the education system now. You can read. If Bitcoin is going to continue, then MSTR will continue. No gracias on that one. Can you look at QQQ? We get for, yeah, we can do QQQ as well. Let's do the QQQ as well. Get this guy off of there. It's going to be the similar thing for the QQQ. If you get this, this would actually be a solid level to be watching what price action does. It would still be right in here. Boom. Right there. If you can get to here, you're squeezing. There's no guarantee you'll get to here at this point. I think you will, but just because I think it doesn't mean I'm taking a trade. If I went, wow, I have 5 reasons, you'd hear me saying, I'm going to short this. Right? I don't think that that's with you because all it has to do is go. And you're going to see this. And then way up here, you'll probably experience that. But if you experience the opposite and you go gap up, okay, this just crossed up, and now the RSI took care of itself too. Right? This is why you don't fight those short squeezes. Oh, shit. Hold on one sec. Hold on. I think my dog just licked something up. He just kind of puked all of a sudden. Give me a moment. I'll leave you on the queues for a sec to help you if you want to see that zone. Hold on, I gotta take care of Al Powell real quick. Is this a squeeze, you think? Vic says 85% chance. Why do I think it'll pull back? Just because of that. And you're at seriously elevated levels. Give me one moment. One minute, guys. I gotta wipe this up. Sorry, Ben. Give me one moment, buddy. All right, sorry about that, guys. Alan, he's a fatty if you didn't know. Yeah, Alan's a fatty, so sometimes he sometimes he'll have a day once every couple of weeks where he just pukes up stomach bile, and he's like, "Wah." I'm like, "Oh God, okay, Alan needs a snack." I always try to like get him thinner, but then he gets sick. It's It's a rough time. For the Qs, you're looking at this level pretty much between 507.86, right? Looking at the resistances that can become support. You left behind a gap there, so awesome. Great level to gravitate to. And then you have gap what? Gap support beneath here. So that's fantastic as well. And so if this is going to break down, you're going to get that pullback opportunity. 30-minute opportunity here. The 2-hour opportunity. So one here. The 2-hour opportunity would probably look more like, it'd probably look something like this, actually. No, I think it's just, I think it'd just be boom, boom, boom. Yeah. Cut the low. You know, stocks do crazy things. Don't expect it to be straight lines. But if it's going to fail, you'll see this low taken out. And then you have to see failure here. Once you see that roll, you go, okay, short to where? Potentially here, 492.70. Ultimately, I still like this gap getting filled. Just saying. I really like that gap getting filled. But I think it would be too much time. We've extended price too much. We needed to see a midday flop. Trump talking tonight with Fox. Oh no, John, we're screwed. You're in a buy the dip market right now. Like literally, you are in the buy the dip. And guess what? If you go all the way back down to here, guess what? You know when you stop doing the buy the dip kind of market? Once you're out of a buy the dip market, you have to go all the way at least past this low. And really, if you want to do a serious, like complete, like don't buy the dip market, it's below this. Below this, it changes. The market environment changes. Below this block, it changes. So this would still be buy the dip. This would potentially be buy the dip. This starts to go, eh. This starts to go, no thank you, until I see reversal signals. Yeah, broke its downward trend line and rose above the 200-day. What are your thoughts? Same thing. It did. Yeah. You see that red line I have over on Nvidia right now? Look at it. Bam. That's that line that they're talking about. Yeah, that's the line they're talking about. I think we're going to revisit that area. But that's, you know, you're talking about good news still with Nvidia, right? This could be a 1% moment. It could keep going. But that's the one I'm thinking about. Like, that's the one that I thought about because the risk to reward is there. He cancels the China deal. No, I mean, you could see some tantrums, I think. Roro, thanks for subscribing. And Ben, hopefully you're getting those Qs levels okay. Thank you so much, Ben, for the 199. Just wanted to make sure you're getting this type of stuff, okay? Yeah, so for Nvidia, you're looking for that 30-minute opportunity or the 2-hour opportunity in that zone. China. You think I should exit my Palantir 128 call expires this Friday or wait for a break above 130? It's up to you how much risk you want to assume. My data says for Palantir that anything above 127 is a fantastic trade, and it's pretty much done. God dang it, I always lose Palantir. Yeah, anything above 127 is pretty much like done. So it can continue, but you're assuming the risk of losing all that profit. Just telling you what you're assuming there. See, look, literally, this is why shorting, hard times. It literally can do that. That would be actually psycho. That would be actually psycho. Like, I'd be risk to rewarding if this happens towards Friday and you just leak higher into here. I would be risk to rewarding a pullback. That's me. Probably not a big position though, right? Why? Because we're still short squeezing. Oh shit! Can I get some good music on? The fuck is going on? Get some screaming type stuff. Come on now. Coin's doing well. Bitcoin looks like the 4 hour is going to turn up. We'll see. Oh, tariffs aren't gone. I hope they're never gone. I hope they're here to stay. PH, thank you so much for subscribing. Can we squeeze all the way till all-time high? I mean, technically, yes. Is it possible? Yeah. If you go to all-time highs, I would really be concerned. You're not through the midpoint yet, right? You're just in the bottom of it. Keep that in mind. If you reach up to here too fast, if you reach all the way up to 596 and you reject, and you start to see a big downtrend, you know, the game could change here. Something's something's funky with this right now. This is too much. This is too much too fast. Don't bully me, 6,500. I mean, it's possible. You'd have to have the biggest huevos. I think investors are fine with that, but you'd have to have some big ass huevos to be like, we're gonna hit 650 on the, or 640 or 650 on the SPY by like next week. To the moon, yeah. Yeah, as of right now, for the all-time high argument, I think there's little chance that you're not going to run into any problems once you get to here. And really, the zone might be smaller, but we'll see. I might have to reshape that zone soon. They did not to break your side. All right, 5 minute. We are dictating some kind of low. You are seeing the squeeze behavior. See how it just goes down. Do you see how I was drawing that up on the 30 minute? Look at the 5 minute. It's squeezing. What you need is a failure to make a new high. You need a failure with the divergences really close to the center line. This is when you have a chance of this going negative. If it doesn't, then you got to restart again. Love your streams. Thank you, Nana. Appreciate you, buddy. Wait, didn't you question something? Or did we tackle that one? Palantir. We did tackle Palantir. Okay, good, Nana. We watched Nonnas last night because my wife has a Nonna. GME is squeezing. It is not. That is not squeezing. On the 30 minute, you could argue it, yes. But you're really not doing the things you need to do here. Yeah, you're not doing the things you need to do here. It didn't really show you the pathway down, though. Kind of did there, but not really. That's choppy. 30-minute potential. Yeah, this is the beginning. This is probably like the early stages of squeeze, which makes sense because the daily is just now curling up. So this would be the early stages where you're kind of seeing, are we going to squeeze? If you're paying attention to GME, you want to see a squeeze. See if price holds above 29.54 over the next couple sessions. That would be fantastic. 30-minute, you could... No, that's just pulling back with time. Then you go up, come down. Yeah, it's squeezing them. It's holding price really well. Every single low. I hate when my screen does that. All right, here we go. See if we keep going. Now, do remember that this morning we were suggesting, right, the Q or the SPY was not at its move. The Qs were, so we were suggesting pay attention if the SPY needs to get to its daily expected move. That means the Qs can extend, and they extended. Pretty crazy. Thoughts on PCC? I think people are getting really, really bullish at the high. Really, really bullish, right? The only thing you see are flashes into neutral, right? Flashes into neutral now. For the whole last, like, week. You're all bullish, all bullish, all bullish. And what are we doing? We're raising the floor, right? Now, I don't want to do technicals on this, really. I just want to see how that's getting closer to going, oh, people go to the put side for a sec. right? Bullish, go to the put side. Yeah. So I think the PCC is telling you that people aren't necessarily shorting these levels anymore. So what fuels the short squeeze? Shorts. So the fact that you have calls coming in for the most part today, you can read into that. I don't think there's anything really to catch here. I mean, if anything, I think volatility is even refusing to show the good signal here. Did it break the low? Oh, one thing about volatility that I saw, so I was like, why'd we head down so low? If you look at volatility, there's this sneaky gap right here. I thought that was super interesting, but if you really look at it, I think it was on the daily. Was it on the daily too? Let me go check. It's this, I think it's this gap. No, maybe it's not. No, it's this gap. It's this one here. It is this one. Okay. This gap right here, I was like, why did we go so low here? And then I go, oh, we got a gap all the way down at 1782. So I'm going to be looking for reversal signals here if you can't tell by the absolute mess that is going on the screen. All I've got is insane. Nice, okay. Let me go look at this on a 5 or 15. Just look a little tighter. 15. Oh, yeah. There you go. Volatility testing the lows, not making an extreme new low all the way back to today, this morning, right? So volatility, if volatility is the opposite, let's say volatility, let's flip the script here. Let's flip volatility usually going like this when the market's down. We're flipping that, right? So we're doing this, okay? We're flipping the chart around, right? Flip it around, all right. So volatility here has a high. The SPY did this. You know what volatility did? It actually did this. So far. Volatility is not responding to this really right now. Volatility is not saying like, volatility is holding up better while the SPY is making new highs. That's not the best sign, right? I'm just saying these things to suggest like, hey, your patience is going to pay off, I think. I think patience is going to pay off to wait for the next setup. This is awesome. It's true. I mean, you gain more obvious room, right? Anything can happen, but you gain more obvious room from seeing a pullback here, right? What made it so Tesla could go from 322 up to 337, 338? What made that happen? Well, it was this, right? We pulled back. Then you retested, then you went up. Right? You need those little pullbacks. So be looking for those little pullbacks if you're going to continue to squeeze. But as you have seen those little pullbacks multiple times, right? It starts to add up to eventually you're going to see probably something not so hot. And look where the golden pocket takes you, right into the top of the zone. I like that. And I know I show that and people are going to go, oh, on a short. You're not in the environment where shorting is easy. If you haven't figured that out by now, you will. If you keep doing those decisions, you will find out. So I would like Tesla for another curl up. I think it will continue, but I think it has to show you the opportunity. I'm out of all positions until the next down. I like bullish trades, but buying now feels like buying the top. Pretty good assessment there, right? Yeah. I'd agree with you. I mean, volatility just tested the lows and bounced off it, never made a truly like, if it makes a new low, we'll talk about it, right? It never made a new low. See, 1765, 17. Nope, right on the dot. 1765 to 1765. You're right on the dot, not making a new low. So we're heading to 591. Most likely we'll get there at some point with this type of week going on. It's just, do you pull back to test 580 first? And does nothing go wrong? Investing wise, you would say, hey, there's potentially, if you have a lot of time, right? If you're young, you would say there's never really a bad time. I would look at stocks with dividends. Is it a bad time to buy stocks? Well, if you really look at it, it goes, are you talking about if a stock went down for another 2 weeks, would you be upset? Because then you're not an investor. An investor invests. If you think of it this way, if I got $200,000 for a restaurant from an investor, are they thinking they're going to make money in the first week, the second week, the third week, the fourth week, the fifth week, the sixth week? No, they're thinking they're going to make a bunch of money, or they're going to make their money back from their investment, or more money from investing, maybe 3x their value over the next 5 to 10 years. Right? They're not thinking, oh, I'm going to start this restaurant and everything's going to be peachy. We're just going to be able to pay off all our debt in 2 weeks and be done. That's not how investing works. Investing is just making a decision based on what you like, pretty much. Hey, I like this price for Apple. Hey, Apple is down 18%. That's pretty good. It's showing me that it still has buyers in the stock. That's pretty good. Hey, it's curling up into positive territory. This thing could pop off. We could absolutely see the mega squeeze now. You can. That's why we don't short squeezes. I would absolutely be super fearful if we go hit new all-time highs like soon. I would be very scared of that. The only way that I would take a short position, that's all you got to think about with, like, if you actually want to make an investment, you think like, I want to buy stocks and hold them forever or for 5 to 10 years. And you could pay attention to and use your skills to see if something goes wrong. But, I talked about Target. Target's my investment. Why? Well, let's look. Why would I invest in Target? Well, 1, it has necessities. 2, from all-time high, it was down when I bought it. 95, yeah, about there. It was down 64%, 65%. It gives dividends, so I like it. I go to Target. We bought a lot of baby stuff. They have our formula that we use the whole time, so we were at Target pretty often. Store's clean. They sell clothes. They sell food. They sell detergent. They sell necessities. I like it. This is a stock I'm willing to hold for my entire life if I want to, or at least for 5 to 10 years. Right? Investing is like that. Would I cry if Target went down further? No. I'm ready to buy at 68 to 66 right in here. I'm down to buy at 20 something. I'm investing. Right? And then you don't look at the shit and you sit there and then you go, okay, now that it's at a high, maybe I need to look at it and see if there's weekly divergence, right? And then you can go, okay, that was a good investment for 2 to 4 years. All right, I'm out. Or a monthly divergence or something. As far as it stands, what would I look for to short? I would look for the trap towards the end of the week or into early next week, and I would be looking at this yellow line very seriously and using all my skills that I know about divergences, time frames, everything like that, and the percentages will be with you on it. Doesn't mean it has to be successful, but it puts you in a high probability to be successful. So why I'm saying, like, 1, it's just like you don't have any. You have zero. You have zero reasons from your MACD, right? Unless you're a day trader. Day traders, you do your thing, right? I understand. If you want to do it, you do it, right? If you're fading and things like that, I get it. Today's probably the day where a fade makes sense for tomorrow. But if that doesn't happen, you have to understand, oh, okay, this ruins me. I'm out. It showed me the new high. And then maybe you have to get back in. You look for the things around the yellow. I'm just suggesting what's a lot easier. A lot easier is just letting price, letting this stuff do whatever it wants to do, let as many bulls get trapped as much as they want right up to here. And then you just go, okay, now I'm going to make the decision. The better decision here is trade the trend. Is it better than Costco or Walmart based on price? Based on price? Let's see. Well, right away, I don't like the look of this. I don't like the look of this. I have the opposite things happening for Target. Target's down here, right? Target's here. Walmart, not so much. What kind of discount would I be getting? Okay, only 9%, right? Only 9% discount. Not very good. I don't like that discount. I don't really like that discount. It's not really my thing, right? Doesn't mean it would be a bad investment over time, right? It can be a good one. But I just like the cheapness of Target. Costco. Well, let's see what kind of discount I'm getting. Because down here, what do we get? A retest of the lows, and bam. Big move up. And that was a scary point because you made a new low. That's a scary point, but ooh, that's nice. All right. What kind of discount am I getting? Well, let's look. Okay, nothing there. Look what kind of discount I'm getting. 7.5. So you might say that I'm assuming more risk because Target is down lower, but when everyone decides I don't want Target, I'm saying I do. That's it. All the world has even seen lately. No, not necessarily. I'm not in the selling and puts game. I just started with my $1,000 trying to learn. Perfect. That's awesome. Yeah, stick around. We can talk about these topics more. We can talk about things more on the investment side too. Because if you're young and you have a bunch of time, you know, one, it would say try to just work a job, grow the amount of money yourself first. You can the easiest way to grow money is to use your hands, you know, hard-earned money. It is. It's the most risk-free way to make money is to go get a job. And then what's the most risk-free way to not lose money very, very quickly? Don't do options. You think we'll see 580 before 591? Well, 590 is a critical level for today. We could see a squeeze flash move up to there. We could see it just continue to squeeze up to there. I think, personally, it's kind of like having a bias because I want the opportunity to buy possibly 580 or even 570, right? So you're talking to me when I kind of have a bias of like, I want it to drop to give me the opportunity. But the unbiased version of me would say, who the hell knows? It is more likely, I would say, with how things are set up, for 580 to get tagged first. But more likely, that phrasing of more likely kind of goes out the window when you're squeezing. Because it was more likely we were going to pull back today to 570. But then it crossed up. Okay, so the environment you're in, you shouldn't be trying to dictate price every single day. You should just be waiting for the opportunity. Yeah, use really small amounts, evening officer, right? You just said you're new, right? Don't try to be LeBron, okay? Small amounts. I think we'll get the bull run. I just think after a mean daily pullback. So my outlook for the next 6 months, which we actually gave this morning, is we can do whatever we want here. Don't really care. I think eventually, if we do this, I'm scared as fuck. I'm just going to tell you. I'm scared because we're starting that run too early and we're setting up a major top possibly going into the fall. I don't want to see that. I think the more likely thing is, the more probable thing, which is you're seeing a run up into OPX, and then sometime after OPX, you are going to see some kind of dump to go retest into either, well, now that price has gotten there, it's going to be either here or all the way down to here, and then people will say crash, and you'll turn around. And then this is what really kicks off that June to July period. You see maybe, this is where you could maybe get the new all-time high, by the way. And then you'll get that period of consolidation or downward move in August. So I think more so we're going to see a daily pullback that curls up into positive territory, getting us to potentially all-time highs, maybe even in the summer. But I think we have the potential to take care of a lot of things. There's just a lot of stress with analysis right now. I will say that. There's a lot of stress with analysis right now. Why? Because we've left behind so many gaps. So many gaps. We don't know if this is taken care of yet. You know, what if after the 90-day pause, everything goes to shit? Right? That is something we have to be aware of. So you can think 6 months out, but if one thing goes wrong in your thought process, everything can change. So if we just do this, everything has to change for me, right? All of my analysis has to change. If we do this, all of my analysis has to change. If we do this, everything has to change. This is the crash. This is the crash, by the way. That's the crash right there. Once you lose this low, you make a divergence, and that divergence fails. Because now you're extended. So making a divergence here just doesn't make sense. So if you revisit and make the pathway lower, and that pathway is confirmed, that's the crash. I think that is very low probability. But man, if we go make some kind of all-time high bait, I'm really worried about this market. I'm just saying. I hope I'm worried for no reason. I genuinely do. You know, I don't like people to suffer. Crashes and major tops cause people to buy a lot of stocks, and I don't want people to go through that. What's the realistic time that I could go all-time high? With the tariff things going on and with the actual wage distribution getting better, aka if jobs are coming back to the United States at a high rate where you're seeing wages keep up, it means that big money will have to take less margin, less profit, because they're having to pay more for their workers. It's going to cause competition in the labor market, and that needs to be priced in, because a lot of the prices of stocks right now, you probably see their PE ratios. They are insane because these companies could pay nothing for workers and make huge margin. This is why I don't understand. We're not getting political. I don't understand why anyone hates on the fact that we're trying to cause the job market here to be competitive for the average American. I don't understand that, because the stock market can go down to shit, and the people who lose the most money are the top 10%. So if these companies are going to be making less profit because they have to pay more for wages, they are going to make less revenue. What does that mean for investors? They price in less. Yeah, I mean, this is why I'm glad I started a business. I ran a business for like 3 years. It started to work out, and then it failed. It taught me a lot about just like economics in general, right? Way better than my supply demand courses and stuff in college. It kind of opens to your eyes of like, what the hell's going on? But if your margin goes down, investors will not be, the value of the stock doesn't make sense anymore. Shorting HIMS at this level, it has squeezed 30% over the past couple of days. By squeezing shorts, it's done. I wonder what HIMS is up to. We looked at this, what, like 2 weeks ago? Yeah, your MACD is not too happy. Holy crap. Yeah, okay, the end of a squeeze, a lot of the time, this is why 2-hour charts are really important. During squeezes, a lot of the time you'll run into problems once the 2-hour starts to show you those problems. So I'm not confident to say this is going to retrace down yet. I think you could hold up here, right? That zone. I think here would be great. And then you see if it could continue. Why would I be talking about it continuing? Because you're so far away from that center line. If you're going to see this break down, you probably have to lose that, use it as resistance. And then this is your actual like pathway to go back into this, this area, right? Another zone. This is your pathway to get there. And the weird part is a lot of people think this is the short. You don't know anything at this point. The short is actually on the retest. The short is here, okay? when you're in the environment where shorting is easy, right? It's pretty much like the shorting environment you're in now are potentially full court basketball shots. Wait for the environment where they're layups, right? The SPY right now on the 2 hour, it looks like you want to short it. It looks like you want to short it. And you could be right. And if you're good at risk to rewarding, you're good at fading bigger time frame moves, awesome. Hats off to you. But you're in the environment where shorting is kind of like, I would say, a half court shot. You're at those critical levels. If you have more information, you're at that level where it's like a half court shot. Okay? But the environment now, bullish things are layups. You want to wait till the bearish thing is a layup. We're on the same page, Oakland Group. Good. I'm glad. Oakland, you got a good head on your shoulders. So I think you got a good head on your shoulders. Whenever you come in here, man, I think you got it down. I don't think you're ever risking too much either, which I like. How far out do you buy your options? I look for 2 week most of the time, right? The fun account's been doing too good. So I've had some shorter plays recently. The fun account's about to be a flop, right? My little 2 DTE account. No, I prefer 2 week to 8 week options. And I've been more so utilizing during like these times. During these times down here, I was utilizing more 4 week options. So this trade should have taken like 3 days to play out. It took like 2 hours. If I would have taken 0 DT, I would be a filthy rich man. I'd probably be visiting my friend in Japan. They just had a big family announcement. So I would have taken some time off and went to Japan. So yeah, to answer your question, 2 weeks to 8 weeks is normally what I do with a heavy lean towards 4 week options. That's why I'm waiting for the 2 hour, right? The 2 hour will allow me to take a 4 week option up here for maybe a drop that takes about 2 weeks, and I can hold steady for like a week and then be like, okay, do I want to keep it? Do I want to sell it? Puts on spot. Hey man, if you got the fun account and you're not risking too much, evening officer, you know, that's fine. But it sounded like, you know, some people in here are early on, so we just don't want to say like, hey, it's gonna look like it was easy. If it drops down to 580, it's gonna look like it's easy. And you're gonna say, man, I wish I did it. But just know that shorting in a short squeeze environment is the better decision is to sit out. Yeah, because you're gonna think you're a genius, and maybe you're doing your due diligence first, right? You can become skilled over time, but there's just a lot of people who are pretty green here. So I wanted to make sure to tell them about this environment. I can't wait for the overbought territory. Oh, you're there for the 30. You're there for the 2 hour. You're almost there for the daily. you are a hiccup away from 590, which is great. We actually called that you would hit 590 this week. I still think it would be more towards Friday. I thought it would be towards Friday. It's turning out to be like just crazier than I thought. Come on, guys. Like, you got to be real here. Have you heard me say I'm upset at all for selling all my calls here? No, I didn't leave the runners. That's a choice that I made. And I'm perfectly comfortable with that choice, right? You have to be comfortable with your choices and say, I still made a good one. I'm going to continue to make those good choices. Yo, what was Mike P saying? What's he saying? Companies like McDonald's reporting weakness. McDonald's is in a trash spot. And do you know why? They finally started to report in the media what me and my wife said a year ago. A year ago, McDonald's prices were going up. And we have this place in town called Freddy's. Maybe you guys have a Freddy's. And I think Freddy's is higher quality. I think it's better. We are now at the point, which I told her back then, I say, we could pay an extra like 50 cents and we could get a better burger, better fries, better everything. So we go to Freddy's. And now the media is reporting exactly me and my wife's conversation. Me and my wife's conversation was, we're never going to Spangles. We're never going to McDonald's again for a burger. I'm just not doing it. Because I can get a better burger for like 50 cents to $1 more. Right? Now it's to the point where that place is almost cheaper. If I get a Big Mac meal from McDonald's, it'll be more expensive than say going to Freddy's. They actually changed things, Noah. Do you know what they changed in the they actually recently did this change in the last, I believe, 6 months. Do you know what McDonald's did to their Big Mac? Who can name it? Chuck E. Cheese deal? Well, you got to look at each individual business. I'm just talking about McDonald's and a place here, Spangles. Those are two. They lock the bears in their cages. Oh no, they're just continued good news and continued good price action with some bearishness at the lows. But don't be, something that's just sketchy here is I know that retail was more in this move than usual, so I'm a little sketched. More sauce, no. So the actual thing they said they did, if you didn't know, was the Big Mac is like a staple. So before RFK, I don't know if anything's changed since he came in. Before the election, McDonald's actually downgraded the meat in the Big Mac specifically to lower the price a little bit. So you are pretty much you're eating cancer if you eat a Big Mac. Like that's how I see it. Whenever I see that downgraded of meat, I'm like, yeah, no, thank you. I'm good. Dog food. Yeah, I mean, for humans. Dog food for humans. Dog food. You'll own nothing and be happy. Dog food. You'll eat it and like it. Because we'll pump a bunch of chemicals into it so it tastes good. No, I love my dog. We did give Toby, you guys remember I had a dog pass recently, not too recently. We had to take care of Toby. We did give him a good day. We did go out. What did we get? Actually, I think we got him Chick-fil-A. I think the financial reset is coming, Mike, and everything I explained about the job market and the competition will cause it to happen. And I think that's leaning towards if we hit all-time highs like in 2025, like in this run right here, if we hit all-time highs, you might see that sooner than you think. I think I'm leaning still with how we're extending here and how it's mapping out. It looks like next May, 2026. Josh, me and you, buddy. Well, maybe they're hanging out up there, Josh, and they're both the Tobes. People call them the Tobes, right? They're like a duo. The Lord's chicken. That's right. We thought maybe it would save his life. Yeah, it's a strong day. Very, very strong day. People still going into calls even towards the end of the day. We're not really seeing a big shift here. We're just seeing calls. But volatility is still holding that low. Look at this. 17, look up here, right here. This number right here at the L, 1765. 1765. So volatility can snap in all of a sudden, but don't think it's going to be some crash moment. You'll probably, if we drop by 2%, people might start saying crash. It's not going to be a crash, guys. You have at least another push on the 30-minute or even 2-hour. Damn, it made the lower high. Bastard. Well, let's hope oil doesn't crash then. Because if it solidifies a lower high. Oh, where's the what? What? Lower high? What you're seeing here is all bullish, by the way. I want to explain why, because we're going to go over price action a lot in the course soon. I want to go over why. We've been talking a lot about price action, divergences, and something you can pay attention in divergences is just, do we ever beat the previous low, or are we retesting that low? This is a retest of the low. This is not a breakdown of the low. So actually, this is still very likely to continue. You could have a pullback here, right? But if you reject, you'd more so look for the rejection from 68. Rejection from 68, and then you see, and you curl down, right? And then you lose all of this, and then you make the new low. You don't have a new low here. I know it's tight, but you don't have it. So don't act like you do. There's no lower high there. Not yet. We'll see. There could be. We'd have to see that 2-hour or 4-hour chart, actually. All right, what's the 5-minute looking like? Are we making the pathway? Right? Oh, we did. Is this really going to continue? Holy shit. If this continues, that is insane. This is where it starts to make a little bit of sense to try to scalp this for tomorrow, right? The divergence actually being able to go negative. But you still want to see good behavior. Bink, bink, and then you're down. Yeah. That's how you really break down. You could just flag out here, go sideways. Oh, high or low. Sorry about that, Onda. Sorry about that, Onda. I don't have weekly expected moves for oil. I could make a weekly expected move next week for USO if you would like, Onda. If you can remind me at the end of the week, Onda, write it down, okay? I'll make one for you. I'll make one for you going into next week if you'd like. You're here all the time, Onda. I'd love to give back for you, buddy. Okay? If you remember and you remind me on Friday morning, because we don't have the Friday afternoon stream. Friday morning, though. Actually, we might this week. It depends on price action. Tonight, I won't be able to do a YouTube video. We finally, for once in our life, found a babysitter. So we actually get to hang out alone. And do you know what we get to do the whole time? Laundry. So I'll be doing laundry and but hanging with my wife, my best friend, so I'm happy about it. But I apologize, no video tonight. Patreon members, be looking for the daily expected move, and I will put the second standard deviation on there. Why are we on this bull run? Because the people became certain. People are feeling very certain. But here's the thing about markets. Certainty, uncertainty. Right? What do you normally do? You bounce between the two, weirdly enough. You'll go through a period of time where you're very certain. Let's do it like this, right? Lines. You'll go through a period of time where you're very uncertain. You're way down here. And then you'll become what? Oh, okay, okay, now we're really certain. Then it'll pull back, be like, maybe we're not as certain. Okay, it's real. And then we can raise this floor. But you will see this ping pong action between certainty and uncertainty all throughout 2025. Remember, what is the word of the year for 2025? Confusion. Now, one thing to note here, we'll see if this is able to fail. Let me double check this. 589.08, 589.06. You kind of did make the path. You might make another little new high here. You're building some liquidity here too. But there's extreme weakness from your MACD. Yeah, I think tomorrow might be your pullback day. I think you have a pretty good shot. Orangutan is the word of the year. We have one in the office. Yeah. We do really well, and then the orangutan just punches all our computers, and we gotta... volatility, still holding. We'll see what this does towards the end of the day. What you're looking for to break down, very simply by end of day. Oh, shit, you only got 13 minutes. That's going to be rough. I don't think you'll see it by end of day. You might have to look at futures for it. You would like to see this taken out. You'd like to see that, like, down. You don't have to lose all of this. You just need to see a move back past this, and then you want to come retest that area again, and then show that breakdown. You want to retest this up in here. We'll see if it shows it to you. You have a sneaky market, hence why this market is causing me, as an analyst, so much stress with these times. Is like, Jesus, what is going to happen over the next, like, 2 months? Because gap, even here, actually, gap, I don't think we filled that one. Did we? I don't think so. Gap. We've got gap. You've got gap. And then up here, what? You just filled this one. I think that was the last one. Right? And then over on like volatility, what do you have? You have gap. You have gap. You have gap. You have gap. It's like, what the hell is going to happen? What the hell is going to happen, man? Eating seeds is a pastime activity. Let's watch the 5-minute for the last bit here. That's that. I don't know if that's enough of a high. Fun fact about Twitter: my posts were called tweets. No, on X they're just called posts. I know it's kind of lame. I like Twitter better. That looks toppy. It does look toppy. I'm just wondering if it shows us the low before the market session ends, and then we see a bounce up. I would like to see this. 1 move here, 2 move here, 3rd move here, and then you can maybe see if we reject from that level in the futures. You need, I know it's 5-minute charts. I'm not the best with 5-minute charts. I'm not the best with the shorter charts, right? We've done some cool things with 5-minute charts over the past few trading sessions, right? But like last week, we did really well. Just in figuring out like, is this bullish? Is it bearish? And I'm just like, this is still very bullish. But these divergences look pretty awful. Market is teleporting. Bleep. I just snatched a put 565 for 22 cents that expires Friday. I'm just looking to dump it into the gap down tomorrow. That's probably not the bad strategy. That's just fading the move pretty much. You'll see, you're gonna see that that's gonna happen where it's just gonna happen like it's just gonna be people are gonna feel really, really certain at some point under Trump, and I think something really bad is gonna happen at that point. I think that's where something could break. Or people start to price in like with earnings, seeing like, oh, we're not gonna see the same profits we normally see. But I think, all-time highs I think is on the cards first. Or in the deck. Projecting going any higher. Let's take a look at Nvidia. We've got 10 minutes. All right, awesome. I want to see that go. That would be best case. That would give you the biggest nice hint. And then the funny thing is you're squeezing, so that could be totally wrong. Oh, good for Nvidia. Okay. Now Nvidia's trying to dictate a higher low again. It's trying, but we haven't seen boom. All right, we need to see that boom. Then you'd potentially like see a quick retest and go. That'd be great. But you look at this and you're just like, geez, Nvidia, stop it. Stop it. You're violating me. Ah, here we go. Let's see if I get what I want. Come on, give me what I want. Don't hold up here. That's the opposite of what I want. The opposite of what I want is you've made the new high. Don't test into here and not break the low. That means we're going to maybe go that way, at least in the futures. First blow off top. Yeah, Dave. Stop. Ron, stop. There you go, volatility. What did I say I wanted volatility to close above? 1810? 1810. It's at 1811. It's at 1811. Come on, break the freaking low, dude. Stop. Give us the pullback. That's all we want. That's all we want. Give us the pullback. Please. Let us get back in. We sold a day early. No, I like to sell a day early, personally. It gives you an unbiased mind going into the next move. Break the low, damn you. Frickin' frickety frick. Don't do that. That means we have a chance to go higher if we don't break that low. You're not losing your bullish structure unless you lose that low. Yes! Okay. Now we've opened the door. We've opened the door. Now what I would like to see is the bait. The bait for the retest. Bait. That's what I want to see. I don't want to wipe this out, right? We don't want to go make a new high now. You don't want to go make a new high. This is great. Boom into boom. The tapering's there. But you did make just barely a new high. So we don't want to see anything go wrong now. Maybe I'll tell you what. I will stay on extended hours for like 10 minutes after close, okay? That's what I have time for. All right, now let the FOMOers try to take calls now that they think they got a dip. God, I just hope this doesn't snap back though. If it does this, it's more upside. That's why I'm like, ugh. At least more risk of upside. $5,700 September 18th. Good amount of time. I like that. Please drop. I have big FOMO. Hey, yeah, it's the right time to get that FOMO. I understand. Oh, look at that. Volatility right now at 1824. I just want it to close above 1810. Closing above 1810. Seeing this low break. Hi, Bruce. Hi, buddy. Bruce is saying hi. Yes, buddy. I know. Oh, dude, even better. Let's go. Get the freaking pullback, dude. Oh, this is like even better. We didn't even have to retest. Now we come into the actual critical point. Because now you're going, okay, we saw some blood, right? But technically, low of day is where low of day is like here. We're looking for like test of low of today, pretty much. Well, let me get my. Oh wait, is my zone in regular hours right? I probably should include that little gap up here, but we'll leave it. Good stuff. I would like that FOMO move. It's about to rip back up. Good. You lost a lot here. You showed the pathway down. It doesn't mean it has to happen. Like I said, 5-minute charts, man, they're rough. That's why I like 30 minutes. Not stress myself out or day trade. Finally, a dip! Yeah. You're going to need a bigger dip than that for me to buy. You can squeeze up another %. I don't care. Give me a bigger dip than that. We'll stick on for a little bit after hours. You need to see a retest and failure now. Now you want to use this right there, and then also acknowledge you can come all the way up to here. So we want a rejection from the lowest point. That would be the most likely to play out downside further. It means this 5-minute move just continues. What's the dip I'm looking for? I'm looking for this. This is the first one. Am I just going to buy if it hits here? Probably not, unless I see some signals or something. We're looking for, do we do this and then get another breakout? Or do we break down, show that by taking out the low, right? This is your Monday. Technically, this is your like low for the week right now. That's crazy. But if you break that, then you're going to get a reaction and probably fail that reaction. And this is the actual time where like shorting makes more sense. But now because price did so well, you could just hold up right here. So you're still not in the environment where shorting's easy. until you lose like 560, it's not going to be easy. All right, now I want the snapback. You ever do options on oil? I have taken plays on USO. I have before. I thought about it, like literally when we were talking about it, I was like, maybe I should just take calls on US oil, and then we just pay attention to other things and I forget about it. I don't think you guys understand how hard it is to actually like trade while doing analysis on like multiple stocks and trying to like help show direction and things like that. It is difficult because I'm not a day trader. So I'm not just trying to make some kind of move now. I'm trying to analyze for a longer period of time and find the actual opportunity for a few days. That's why I'm not very encouraged to try to like super short this here and take a chance with it, because I know I'll be live in the morning, and if I need to do something, if I see something funky, it's hard for me to react. I'm a little bit of both. I'm a swing trader and more so a position trader. So I'll look for things to form on multiple time frames, and then I'll take a position. The longest I hold a position is usually like a week. Did you go to full? No, this is all firsthand. And I did take courses. I spent like, I don't know, probably somewhere between $3,000 to $7,000 on courses. And I always say this when I talk about it. Those courses were maybe like 25% like helpful, like actually important. Okay, there's potentially your little retest into the bottom of the zone right there. Nice. You could still retest these levels again. So I would say what I did was I took all those courses, and I think it was good for like swing trading, like simple stuff, like bigger time frame swing trading, trading without options. But then I lost my business in 2020 to COVID, and the only thing I had was a trading account, right? I had my trading account that I started swing trading on daily time frames, and I go, man, maybe I should take this more seriously. And I used COVID to just like eat, sleep, breathe. Everything was charts. You can ask my family. I was like a hermit. What my schedule for the day was look at charts from 6 a.m. to about what? I think I would wake up, I'd go for a run, I'd look at charts from about probably 7 a.m. to about 11. And then at 11, I'd be so crashed out from my run in the morning that I'd be like, all right, I'm taking a nap. I would take a nap for like an hour. And then I'd wake up, I'd look at charts until 3. And then I would go to the gym. And then I would come back from the gym. And then I would look at charts until like 10 p.m. And I would do it all over again. I did that for like a full year. Now, if I didn't take naps back then, I don't think I would have learned. Yeah, don't try to trade when you're super sleepy. You guys, we've had some streams where I sleep like I'm a terrible sleeper. So we've had streams where I slept like crap. And now you're kind of looking for cup and handle. You've set up the downturn. Now we got to see if it continues or if we get some random news from Trump. How many hours? The swing trading course is very basic, very simple. It gives you a great just like base to work from. And then from there, it's literally like you start to realize really quick, everything is on you. How good you get is very dependent on how much you're willing to just be like, and I know a lot of traders probably maybe say this. A lot of you being successful is how much you can humble yourself. How much you understand that a stock could do anything at any moment will really help you. I think that's what dictates a good trader, because that person is always inclined to be aware of risk. This guy, you're pretty much always this guy. I think that's a big deal, because the more you get cocky, the more the market will crush you, right? If you're the guy that says, I'm always right, and then you're wrong and you don't show up to chat for a day, show up to chat when you're wrong, okay? Show up to chat when you're wrong. It's perfectly fine. Nobody's going to hate on you because you were wrong, right? And you really shouldn't hate yourself because you're wrong. It's bound to happen. It happened to me multiple times. Do you know why I tell you not to short a short squeeze? Do you know why I tell you not to short a short squeeze? Do you think it's because someone else told me not to short a short squeeze? No. The reason that I don't short a short squeeze is because one time I made a load of money and then I tried to short a short squeeze because I thought I knew everything and I was all cocky. I was cocky. And I think I made, let's just use percentages, right? Let's say I make 100%. This is what I made, 100% of this right here. I started utilizing all of that money. I took all of my risk out. I took all my risk practices away and I said, I'm the best. And then I shorted a short squeeze. And then I kept shorting it. And then I and then I rolled the position. And then I shorted it again. I went from these type, like 100% of my gains going down to like 25% just because of that. And I don't want that to happen to you guys. Learn from my mistakes. And you might still make those mistakes for yourself, but acknowledge it, accept them, be humble about it, and you'll be in a good spot. Yeah, I've made this. That's why I went. You notice we're looking at 5-minute charts. Do I look at 5-minute charts? Someone who's been here for the last year. Do I look at 5-minute charts very often? Do I have, or is this the most you've ever seen me look at 5-minute charts? This is the most I have looked at 5-minute charts because I understand your mentality. I've been there. And I'm the one who's going to tell you you can get it wrong very easily. And the market is made to trick you in these kinds of times and tell you that your short is going to be easy. Now, today, I think today was the day to fade the damn move, but you play with them, but you don't trade it. No, I can use it for information, but I just don't think the information on a 5 minutes great unless you're doing this. Look how much work it takes for me to be like, okay, well, why are we going to go up? Well, because we saw an upward move. We dictated the low of day. We saw a peak above this high right here. So therefore, in the next move, we most likely will test into wherever that high is to wherever that low is. You're probably going to test into here. And then look at that, you bounce off the center, then you do what? You go make a new high after testing the zone again. So what are you most likely going to do? Well, you're probably going to test into the block that you just tested a second ago. You're going to move that up and you're going to go like this, possibly including the whole thing if you'd like to. And then you'll go, okay, we're going to test in this zone. Okay, we made a move higher. Now we're seeing here if we're going to make the move higher again. Do you see how much work? Like a 5 minute is so fast. I can do it, right? Obviously, I can do it, but it doesn't benefit my life, my real life, reality. It doesn't benefit my reality to trade a 5-minute chart. Yeah, it makes the stream more entertaining, but I'm not here to entertain. Okay, so we're not going to be looking at 5-minute charts once we're out of this kind of move, right? We might at times, but I'm not doing this to entertain you guys. I am doing it to say for entertainment purposes, more for learning purposes, right? This is for learning purposes. Hopefully you're entertained by learning, and this is learning, so I hope you're entertained by it. My goal is not to entertain you. My goal is to help you be in a point, come to terms with yourself and figure out what is best for you, trading, investing, what time frames. Are you not entertained? Trying to make bank, bro. Sick. Do it the slow way. Yeah, everyone. Okay, why everyone's been shouting out this, man? Let's look at it after hours here. What the hell's been going on with this stock? Why is everyone yelling about this? No new low. That's a 5-minute chart, though. Okay. Well, I know we drew this up in the last, like, 2 weeks. I know we drew this up in the last 2 weeks. And you're tapping into the zone. It's just an earnings thing. What happened before earnings? Ah, you never got the pathway higher. That's one. That was probably the thing to be watching. I would draw a big zone here. I would include the high. I would include the low. We didn't do this, by the way. I don't think we're geniuses and we did this before. We did not do this. I have not been paying attention to United Health. I want to make sure we're clear about that. I do not play earnings. I think earnings can be a 50-50 flip. I think you easily could have seen new high, then you drop down, then you go back up. I think that would have been fine here. But this rejecting seriously from here means you're most likely going to do what? Well, we obviously marked this off for a retest zone. So it looks like 245 might be your next opportunity, but you can hold up anywhere in these zones, right? This is more of a, with this serious of a drop, by the way, this is a serious drop, just so you're aware. You're going from here to here, right? That's 51%. So investing wise, this would potentially be an accumulation zone, right? I highly doubt United Health is going anywhere. Right, this is hindsight looking, by the way. We did not do this before, but that makes a lot of sense now. This is obviously what we were paying attention to, which if I draw this box up and you see it on a chart, when we go click over to it, then I was most likely looking for a retest here. Let's look at weekly. Oh, just ugly. Just absolutely. Oh my goodness, just ugly. And you didn't make the new low here. You made it here. You haven't even gotten a bounce out of this yet. I think you bounced from maybe here. Yeah, I think you retest 5-day here. Ooh, that's hard to say. Like, look how this thing just leaked lower. This was the retest of the 5 that failed. Either way, you've seen how it wants to go lower. So now you're kind of saying anywhere in this actually still could reject. Like, I know it's strange. The place where you want to test is just really far away. I would be very weirded out if this little area here got tested. I don't think you're going to see a 30-minute retest of this, right? I would say you're more likely to just keep seeing bad things. The only information, you actually do have to go into a 5-minute to see. Okay, it's right here. If you flag out to the 30-minute to like here, right? So if you do this, you're going into that zone. The only way to come back from this is to get back above here. You have to get back above there and probably see a drop back down into here and then go higher. So this is rough, but hey, investing wise, you weren't one that held it at the top. Now it's at a low. If it gets in that accumulation zone, I would like it. It's probably going to see, you can see funky things from the market. If I was looking at UNH a month ago and I wanted to invest in April 20th, right? And it's down here now. I'm just saying this will potentially be a good investment. I think it has more room to go. I think 245, 250 would be better. All companies will look like UNH soon. Probably smaller ones first, big 7 last. So if you want the really good opportunity, yeah, opportunity. Apple's probably going to be one of the last to truly fall unless we see more China craziness. Yeah, Varma, thanks for asking. Yeah, let's go into that 5-minute just for a brief second here. I still think you're going to get the retest, right? What do you guys think? We just did all this for nothing. We didn't lose this, which means we can still hold up there, weirdly enough. You could see a retest all the way to here. I'd be paying attention to here, right? Futures traders. See if you get that roll, lose that low. And that might be enough. That might be enough to wipe out this, go into here, go into here. Yeah, that might be enough to get you in the zone. I'm not inclined to get too bearish though at all. I'm just not. I'm not. I want to treat the market like it can do crazy things against where I'm inclined to look. I'm inclined to look for pullback. I'm inclined to look for, as things are really high, I'm looking for things low. So I'm going to tell my brain, hey, just remember the market can do crazy things. Is this the environment for you to short yet? No. I mean, day traders, you might have it. You might have the environment to short day traders, but not me. You have target? Yeah, 250, 245 would be the best case. I think you catch a bounce here, though. I'm in a bear because I want deals, but you have deals out there. Just depends on what your definition of deal is, right? We mentioned Tesla was down 66%. We said that blatantly. It's tested the low 4 times, hasn't broken it, hasn't made a new one. Said it multiple times. Now it's at where? 328, which is what we were targeting. It's actually better than that. So thank you, Tesla, right? It's just a matter of primal. It's a matter of like perspective, I think, a lot of the time. If I'm investing, I usually just look for a deal. And a deal to me is if it's down by 50%, it has a dividend, it has necessities, right? That's why I like Target. 30-minute pullback. 30-minute pullback could just remain squeezing. 30-minute pullback could just remain squeezing. With this drop, though, you're inclined to believe this. This would be your 30-minute pullback. These type of levels here would be this right in here would be your 2-hour pullback. I don't want to say it because I don't want people to, like, I'm going to say it with this disclaimer. I'm going to say what I think. What I think in no way has to happen. I'm reading into the psychology of the market. That's the only reason I have this thought. I think we are going to break below this. I think we are going to break and come down to here, if not fill gap. I think we will get to 570 or deeper. I'm still aware of the more probable 30-minute pullback, okay? The reason I think that is going to happen is because I think there is a trap either going to be set with OpEx or that trap will be set with Vixpiration. I still think the sell in May and go away will happen. If that changes, nothing here has changed that. But that means we need to see a bigger pullback here. This means we need like 2 days of selling. That's what it says to me. This means like by Thursday afternoon, we need to be down here. Or at least taking our effing time down here. Like taking your damn time, taking your damn time, taking your damn time, taking your damn time. That's how I think about it. How these things like to top out is usually the 2-hour chart will tell you the best things. So if you look at the 2-hour, by the way, and you're using all those things from the 5-minute, what have we never retested on the 2-hour? We've never tested this. And that's why I really want to test of there. Test there, go back up, up into Monday, Tuesday, Vixpiration, Wednesday. Look at the timing of it would be beautiful. Now, it never plays out exactly how I want it to. So the first thing I'll be watching is a 30-minute pullback at best, right? Understanding that you're in a squeezing environment, and this could just be done. But at best, a 30-minute pullback that is going to rotate back up is going to most likely take place and touch 580. Kaiser, thank you so much for subscribing. So I'm hoping for 580. Might have to get the fun account out if we see some things. And we will go into those shorter time frames. We will go into the shorter time frames for this moment. And we'll go into the shorter time frames down here as well if we get there. That's because of the extension. You see how crazy that would be. That's why I'm not really leaning towards it. That's a big push in volatility. But the weird part is volatility is giving you the signal you need to get there. Like, that's what's crazy. Volatility is giving you the signal you need to get here, right? The 2 hour needs to curl up. Okay, look at the 2 hour. It's geared, right? So weirdly enough, your 2 hour has enough to gain some steam here, which I just think is very interesting. Now, this is this drawing right here is 580. This is 580. This right here would be 580. Boom, boom. Right? And then this is for the Monday gap. We'll see. I don't know. That would have to be a crazy move. You're going to have to get some actual bad news to shoot down to 570. Why you feel sad on? I just bought 595 call. It can work out for you. Taking calls anywhere outside of here is pretty much a rule for me. I do not take calls outside of a move unless that move looks like this. Something like this. Right? And then if this would cross through, I could take that move. Right? Unless it looks like this. If it shows me consolidation before, right? We're going to get an updated line for you tomorrow morning. We will also have Patreon members be looking out. I'm going to post the daily expected moves for the SPY, SPX, and the QQQs to Patreon. I will also give out on Patreon the second standard deviation, because if we don't have a lot of implied volatility, that second standard deviation might be at 577 or something like that, maybe even 572, somewhere in that gap. Pretty much all you're looking for here is a higher low, right? Keep it very simple, because I won't be doing a video tonight and I'm trying to give you guys some extra time. Pretty much what you're looking for here is the next higher low, and it's as simple as that. And so as long as you're not violating the previous 30-minute higher low, you're good. On the 2 hour, as long as you're not violating the previous higher low, you're good. So this could literally go all the way down to here and then go back up, and it would still be bullish. You're opening some doors to more downside by doing that, but it would still be bullish tilt on the 2 hour. Okay? So all you're looking for is a higher low to keep it as simple as possible. Also, I'm going to fix my upside move so no one's confused. Let me fix that, and then I got to take off. 580.12. God dang it. I did it again. Cancel. God damn it. I always do that. There you go. And you notice what? Why is 580 such a good level now? Because what can you use as support when you break through it? Weekly expected move. If you haven't taken the course, you haven't understood these type of things, when you break through it, especially with a move like this, a strong one, you can now use that as support. And look where that's drawing up into. That's great. And all we're taking is Monday. We're taking the high of day from Monday, and we're taking the low of day for Monday. That's all we're doing here at this point. You're just looking at that entire Monday bar, and then you're going, okay, we used it as support right there. And you're going, all right, if we get down to here, a lot of people potentially get bearish, and that's not bearish. What's bearish is this on the 30-minute. That's bearish on the 30-minute, not the 2 hour. The 30-minute has to show extreme bearishness for a long period of time with how high up the 2 hour is, okay? Let me see if you guys are still chatting in here. Just up to your Patreon. Keep up the good work. We've been putting out a lot of updates. So make sure you have notifications on. Thank you for joining Patreon. We would love to have you there. Okay? Thanks for all you do. Very helpful. Yeah, that's why I feel bad. I will cut tomorrow before. I appreciate you saying that. It's fine. Don't feel bad. There's look at this. I'm going to show you something that's going to make you feel better okay? Look at this. These people all did the same thing, and you could still be right. Maybe you wake up tomorrow and we see a gap up and fade. You never know. But at this point, don't feel like you're alone, because all these people are buying calls all day today, all right? But we just like to stay aware of risk, and we like to pay attention to what? Our levels, right? And how stocks really like to move, all right? So stick around here. Join us in the morning, okay, guys? Come back in the morning. Let's have some, let's try to get some good rest tonight, all right? Don't spend too much time. Maybe look at those daily expected moves when I post them to Patreon later on. Maybe give charts a little look, make a little plan for tomorrow if something would shape up. And let's just make sure to come locked and loaded ready for tomorrow in case there is an actual pullback. And then we'll look at things together. We'll look if things are shaping up well. If they look like they are, then we have a potential opportunity. If they're not, we might have to practice some more patience for the 2 hour to go all the way back down. Okay? After nearly liquidating at 4,800 SPY. Hey, that's good. I already planned to not have a plan, Willow. Hey, thank you, Oakland Group. Thank you, Willow. Thank you, On, Noah. Let's shout out a bunch of people here. Lawrence, Evening Officer, joining in today. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Jonna, as always, a blessing to have you here. Osmama, can I say that right? Microsoft had some bad news, so just be wary of that one. That one actually does have reversal signals, so I will look at that for just a brief moment. This one on the 2 hour is just a rough look to it. It's a squeeze look for the 2 hour, but a lot of moves retrace from here. I'm looking for down in here towards 413 for Microsoft, okay? Who else we got to get through here? Milky Fade. God, we love our Milkies here. Ryan, Will, you guys, Primal, thank you guys for showing up today. Kevin, 10 out of 10 stream. Appreciate it, Kevin. Thank you so much. Nick coming in. You're the man. Appreciate it, buddy. Cahill from Portugal. Hey, that's what's up. Poha. Mr. Easy Street, welcome. Jiggly Blunt. That's awesome. Dimitri, welcome, welcome. I see you in here plenty nowadays, right? That's great. All right, guys, I got to hop off of here. I appreciate you guys. I tried to give you a little extra time as I won't be making that video. So I will see you in the morning and we'll go through this stuff again, all right? Trade like water. Pay attention to our risk and we will be just fine. Peace out, guys. Hell yeah, Rocky. I was still looking at something, but hell yeah, Rocky. Let me know how it goes for you, buddy, okay? If you want to chat back and forth about it, I really enjoyed that book. I think it's great, especially if you're following what we're saying on this channel. All right, guys, I got to hit the end button. Peace out. See you later, Rocky. Hey, thanks, Crouching Bowler. My sister was on the bowling team in high school. She wasn't very good. Peace out, guys.